What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I'm just gonna do a new What If. I don't know if you guys are gonna like it or not. This is what if Deku had hyper regeneration. It was an idea that I had a while ago, and shout outs to Diomedes Rouge. Let's see, the ex What Ifer, Ambush, whatever. Let's see. Ghost What Ifs and Loki What Ifs, Last of Us 21 What If, for all, like, thank you all for being there. And I'm still doing the videos. I'm having to watch a lot of videos right now just so I can make sure I can do the older What Ifs, since you all like it. But anyway, so this is part 1. So what's gonna happen here, people? Well, there's gonna be 2 parts. No, there's just gonna be this one. I don't know which one you're gonna like first, but here we go. We start off with Deku. Born just regular. And he was born, he looks like this character right here, which is just anime drawing of something that somebody did. But he doesn't look like his mother, nor does he look like his father. The first time he was born, Deku got cut due to a scalpel falling off and accidentally landing on Deku's arm and basically cutting it. And when Deku was crying, the guy says, "Quick, get a band-aid or get something." And when they saw Deku's arm, it healed, leaving but a tiny scar on his arm. Now, what else happens is Deku, during childhood, he wasn't exactly liked. They treated him the same way just because of the fact that all he did was heal minor injuries. But Deku kept regenerating. And here's what happened. During the time he was 4, Bakugo just shot out one of his explosions on Deku. Deku's face was kind of bruised up, but when it was hurting, Deku held his hand towards his cheek and then immediately just let go and said, "I thought I was hurting, but I feel okay now." Bakugo was even shocked. Bakugo was shocked that he just was already better, and everybody kind of was okay with it. And some people were impressed on how he can regenerate, or basically heal himself, because they don't know it's regeneration. They all think it's just healing, just minor healing quirk. But Deku has a lot more in store for him. Now, Deku goes to school and goes home, and one day he gets taken by people, and these people start to tie them up and put them in a warehouse. Now, when Deku was being taken, when Deku was being taken, he was held up by 3 guards, and the doctor says that this is just a minor healing quirk. It isn't anything special. But all for one, knowing that that there's a chance that this kid may have a stronger ability one day. Yeah, he decided, hey, why not just wait until it becomes powerful? Like, how should I explain this? He's like thinking to himself, if I try to take it right now, maybe it'll be even more powerful than what the kid can do with it. So, when they try to take his quirk, it doesn't work. And they're just thinking to themselves, what do we do? And this is when All For One speaks and says, well, right now, we have him here. I'm getting tired right now since, how should I say, I'm growing kind of bored of this. We did technically take him away from, or we did steal him and his mother. Just keep him here for a while. Maybe we can find out something about him. Who knows? He may be a new breed of quirk users, which means I gotta get stronger with my quirk as well. And all For One is doing is just being patient. And while this is happening, Deku was just standing there in his room with Inko. Now, while that's happening, Inko goes to another room from time to time, so that way since All For One isn't there all the time, and in order to keep Deku safe from the bad men, she has to, well, how should I say this? She has to service them. And because of that, they always get her naked, and basically they all take turns on her. But Deku, on the other hand, gets actually the crap kicked out of him. Now, why would they do that? Is it because they're mad about something? Is it because they have a vengeance? Did this kid do them wrong? Well, it's neither of those. They just decided just to beat down the kid just for laughs. Since it's always boring over there, since no crimes are always done every day, they have to entertain themselves. And since 3 men are already taking care of the mother, the 3 guys might as well beat down the son. Deku every time gets beaten up, but he heals himself. He gets healed faster. And yeah, this means that this kid will not have any scars on him, which would also mean they're not going to get in trouble. And oh boy, they keep going at this for a couple of months, and All For One basically tries every day to take his quirk, but it doesn't work for some reason. And well, Deku basically got upset one day because he decided to talk back. He told them that he's going to be a hero one day, and he's going to take down the bad guys because he's tired of getting hurt by them. And they decided to show him how, he was wrong. They decided, well, since he's decided to talk back, we might as well show him what happens when he, fails to to get the gist of what's his position in the, you know, in the hostage situation, or as a captive. They go to Inko, and they basically start beating her down. While this is happening, Deku is trying to break free out of this one guy's arm, but he's just holding on, and he's realizing that the kid's is pretty resistant. Like, he's trying to get out of it, trying to get out of the hold, but the guy's not letting go. Deku sees her getting just punched and kicked, and they're taking they're taking their anger plus their frustrations a little too much, and they ended up cracking her skull, and they left her. Deku saw Inko, and Inko looked at her. Inko looked at Izuku's eyes, and she basically said, she tried to speak it out, but she basically tried to muffle out the words, or just try to put the words out, saying she loves him. And basically, she just tells him not to worry about her. Deku sees her arm so close to holding his cheek, but it falls. And Deku gets upset. Deku gets right out, he gets up and basically just starts to bite down on the guy's leg, basically ripping some of the skin and the muscle out of it, and basically spitting it out. And the guy yells out in absolute fear and just anger. Like, this kid is going insane, and all of them are trying to... Sorry about that. All of them are trying to, like, take the kid down, and they are technically doing it, but Deku is just, like, moving around and just holding it as hard as he can. But they're thinking to themselves, how strong is this kid? But if you guys know any better, hyper regeneration also means your stamina is infinite. It means your blood will just fill up instantly. Your skin will heal in a matter of seconds. And Deku is getting more frustrated and mad, and they're all getting tired out while this kid is just keep going. And Deku breaks free out of one and basically grabs the guy's freaking face and just starts trying to grab it and claw at the person until somebody basically punches him and he's knocked down to the ground. Oh boy. Deku is mad now and gets up. Even though he was punched, he technically wasn't knocked out, he was just knocked down. So Deku gets up, charging towards one of the guy, and basically punching him straight in the freaking groin. Deku grabs the guy's gun and basically starts pulling the trigger, shooting at him at the gut. Another guy grabs him, but Deku pretty much tries to grab him and push him back, but it's no use. He pretty much pins him down to the ground, him not able to move at all, and everybody just grabbing onto him and just tying him up. And we get to the whole point where they speak to All For One about this, and they try to say that they don't know what could have possibly happened with Inko, but sorry about that. But All For One isn't buying it. he realizes that they killed the kid's mother. And even though he's not a kind-hearted person, he told them he gave them strict orders, and they were basically just having their fun. So All For One had their lives. 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 Not wives, lives. And Deku is there just crying. All For One, well, he says, "This is a cruel world, young man, and I understand. You have a mother that loved you so much that she gave up her life just for you. Now, what are you going to do about it? You can join me and rid of the world of heroes. The same heroes that could have helped you, but that weren't there. You could have pretty much power, and also people on your side. Not only that, you'll be taken care of. Or," and this is when he hands out a gun, "you can shoot me and see how this will go. And there's always the last option here, which I don't think you'll take, but who knows. You can probably grab this gun and put a bullet in your head. Hell, if that is the case, at least you get to see your mother very soon. But make a wise choice." And this is when Deku pretty much thinks that since his mother isn't with him anymore, what's the whole point? Deku cries with tears and puts the gun straight onto his head and just freaking shoots. He pulls down the trigger, blood gushing on the floor. Deku is just laying there lifelessly. This is when All For One says, "I know that you were sad. I feel terrible about this, letting a child decide this fate for himself. But in the end, if you weren't going to be used to me, you would have been my enemy or a pawn. But it was your choice, kid." But suddenly, all For One could see is his arms starting to wiggle and his head starting to close, and his eyes, instead of dark, like, how do I say it? Instead of them being baggy, his eyes start to turn white again. But this time, instead of his eyes being black, they turn into a deep red. And his quirk activates. Or, we'll say it's a quirk still. Anyway, All For One sees this and he's astonished. He calls the doctor and explains that there's a new thing that's going on with Izuku, saying that the kid's quirk has somewhat activated, and now it is showing that this kid just shot himself and got out, like, came back alive. Sorry about that. Keep yawning too much. And this is when the doctor says, "This is impossible. To shoot yourself in the head? This means that this kid is more special than we thought." All For One really now wants his quirk, but at the same time, he can't take it. No matter what, he legit cannot take it. He tried to... How do I say it? He tried to use his quirk, or try to take his quirk multiple times, but it could not work. But this is when Deku says, "Who am I?" As All For One sees right behind him, looking almost terrified for a second, seeing that this little boy is talking to him normally, as if this kid that was on the ground bloodied, now just acting normal. Looking like he just woke up out of a sleep. He just woke up from sleeping. This is what All For One says, Izuku, what? You should be dead by now. This is when Deku just looks at him, puzzled, saying, who is Izuku? And where am I? This is when All For One. You know how the Grinch, like the cartoon, he has like that evil smile that just like keeps going wider and wider from ear to ear? That's exactly what is happening now. Give me a second. So, this is when Deku is told by All For One, Izuku, did you forget that I am your father? And Deku is puzzled and saying, wait, you're my dad, mister? And this is when he says, why, yes, I am. You are my child. How could I forget such a face? Why would I forget such a face? Now, I prepared your room. And this is when, basically, Kurogiri, or I call him Kurogiri at times, Kurogiri basically sets up like a room, just like immediately, like everybody's just like doing stuff, and this is when Deku is saying, oh, okay, so, mister, Dad, why am I not remembering who I am? This is when he says, well, you probably had an accident where you couldn't understand where you were at, or couldn't remember who you are. You probably have those effects. This is when Deku is just thinking to himself, I have no memory of who I am. And who's my mother? And he basically makes a story saying, your mother was a sweet woman who I only met, and she gave me you, my sweet baby boy. He's pretty much playing good dad right now, and like, just like, he has plans for him, but but right now, he technically is going to have a son, and Deku is going to be a little less of who he is, but anyway. What happens after that? Deku gets, ready for the very next day, and he's pretty much being trained by All For One at nighttime, and doing his schoolwork by daytime. With this, Deku gets very, how do I say this? he gets very, He doesn't sleep. He has infinite stamina. And not only that, he gets stronger by from time to time due to training and due to his studies, due to not sleeping. He just keeps going at it. And this happens for 6 straight years. Deku has basically gotten much more stronger, and everybody around him are like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. Deku is talking to his father, or All For One, saying, hey Dad, I killed somebody today. He was another hero, but yeah, he was very weak. This is when All For One says, ah, my child, come here for a second. This is when Deku walks up to him and says, yes, Dad? This is when All For One basically puts his hand over his head and, well, he gives him a present. And this is when All For One says, happy birthday, Izuku. This is when Deku is just like saying, what is it? And he says, hold out your hands. This is when he holds out his hands. And this is when he says, now, close your eyes. Deku does that. And after that, he's told to imagine a wall that is completely invisible in front of you and being able to move it. And Deku does that. And give me a second here. Anyway, so Deku is seeing that he has a new quirk called Barrier. Now, if any of you guys remembered a long time ago when me and Dio were going to do we were going to do a new what if together. We never actually did it, but I liked the idea that, you know, the quirk that he had, so I decided to use it. But other than that, Deku has been, well, getting stronger, so he might as well have a quirk to protect himself. Although he can regenerate, having a power to basically protect yourself isn't completely useless at all, especially with the ability to regenerate and heal yourself. Oh boy, that is powerful as well. But in other news, Deku goes and at the age of 12 joins a couple of rogue people that try to undermine the, well, he tries to undermine, what is the word? The people who try to undermine All For One, basically Deku takes care of them by killing them and such. And these are not just small organizations. These are people who want to rise up in the ranks. And Deku is taking care of a lot of them. Deku, after probably 3 years of training and fighting, Deku pretty much, well, how do I say this? He basically is buffed, like beefed up a little bit, but he still looks kind of thinnish. But that's mostly because Deku doesn't want to look creepy like a person in their ranks. And if you guys know who I'm talking about, it's Muscular. He doesn't want to look like Muscular. And I can agree with him, he kind of looks weird at times with the whole muscle thing. But Deku basically is agile and more fast. And not only that, he gets cut every time, and he has a lot of scars on him. I mean, a crap ton. Man, he has scars on near his eyes, his body, his arms, his legs. A lot of training and a lot of killing. But, yeah. Deku is, how should I say this? Training one day until he actually asked All For One a question. And All For One says, "What is it, my son?" This is when Deku says, "Can I go to UA?" And this is when he says, "Whoa, wow. Well, why would you want to go to UA? A place that are for heroes?" This is when Deku says, I'm actually just wanting to see how this works." And this is what he says, "Well, you're going to be with heroes though. And this is when he has a plan. And this is when Deku says, "Well, I actually just want to live my life normally for a little bit. I have a lot more time in this world, and I can't die easily at all." This is when All For One says, "Yeah, that is true." And this is when he says, "I do want to see other people and make some friends. I never had that." And All For One realizes that during this whole time, he never makes friends. He always just hangs about by himself. And he realizes that Deku is still a kid, or a child. He still wants to have something good in his life. So this is when All For One says, "Why, who am I to refuse you? You can do it, but on one condition." He says, yeah? Just make sure to, how should I say this? Make sure to tell me what plans you're having. Sorry about that. He says, "Tell me what plans that, is happening around the school and stuff. After all, we still are villains. And you are going to be helping me with my successor." And this is when he points to Shigaraki, which Shigaraki and him are pretty much chilled. And they do fight a lot. I mean, Deku can regenerate, and Shigaraki can basically disintegrate. Technically, Shigaraki can hold him and talk to him, be okay. He could technically be with him without having any restraints. Deku gets happy about stuff like this either way. But Deku just wants to go have his fun. But after all that, I'm going to end it off here. Like I said, we don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if I'm going to do another one. I still got things to do, and I gotta go to sleep because I got to go to work today. But anyway, I hope you all liked it. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout Whatever here. You are all my little bobbleheads. Bye.